I start this? Tell me when.
We're starting right now.
Okay. Welcome to the VNNC Executive Meeting for Thursday, July 7th, 2016, at the lovely Sizzler's Restaurant at 7131 Van Nuys Boulevard. First of all, we'd like to have a call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. We're pledging allegiance, so we're just...
I move to suspend the Pledge of Allegiance.
I second that. All right, we'll suspend the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Secretary, roll quorum call,
I'm here. Oh, here.
which is just the executive people.
Okay, so Jeffrey Lynn,
Here.
Jason Ackerman, here. So here, Stacey Raines,
She's not here. She called up, she's ill, so that's why she's not here. Comments from the chair. I don't have any particular comments. I have an item that I want to add to the agenda, but I'll get to that. Are there any public comments?
Yes. Comment.
There you are.
If I may.
You stand
Wherever you like me to, sir.
probably over there behind.
First of all, thank you, Mr. President, for allowing me to speak. But I want to thank all of you because I know that you truly love Van Nuys. And, the one thing that you may like me or dislike me, but the one thing is I love Van Nuys. If you love Van Nuys, we're going to get along. And if you're here for the agenda of Van Nuys, we're going to get along. And I know I bump heads with a lot of people, but I usually do it because I feel that their agenda is not Van Nuys. So, I live in Port Ranch, but I'm looking for a new home back in Van Nuys and also a building. So, I've been a part of this community for 43 years. I haven't left, and so thank you guys. And sir, Mr. Cuesta, thank you so much for, in transition time, you've been absolutely wonderful. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but thank you for that. And all of you, thank you all for pitching in. That's it.
Okay, I'll have public comment.
I'll second that.
Okay, my name is Donna, and I'm very concerned about Van Nuys also, and I was saddened to hear about the Golden China been going out of business. It seems like more and more places are going out of business, like Quiznos, and we need to have somebody that will be able to bring back businesses to the valley, and Van Nuys specifically. And so that's why I'm hoping that Donald Trump is president of the United States, and hopefully he'll bring back businesses. And I'm hoping the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council will help bring back businesses in California. I mean, the Van Nuys. So that's all I have to say.
Well, I'll add a quick public comment then in relation to what Donna said. I have always wondered why we didn't try to put together a small map of our better local businesses on the boulevard so that the jurors on jury duty and the city employees will go out and discover them.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Mr. President, if I may add to that, or if I can add to- I think when Mr. Henry, and Mr. Henry always comes up with great ideas. That, but you know how many people we get as court that have to come to court and serve, and they usually will walk out for a little bit or stay in the building. If we had a list of our favorite or the restaurants that we felt were worthy of going to, and we handed those out, I know the courts would hand it to them. They would make those available so that people, because they want people to come back and be part of the judicial system. So if we can do that, Mr. Hendry, I'd work with you on that.
Okay.
And the one thing is, I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Swiss Chef on Victory Boulevard. World famous, I mean, unbelievable food. I've been talking to him about trying to find a place on Van Nuys. If you go back about 10 years ago, I'm the one that brought Tres Hermanos to Van Nuys Boulevard. They were out in San Fernando. I used to go there all the time. I said, you guys got to come to Van Nuys. And now they're one of the most successful ones. If we could get a list like that and literally hand them, and that would be a project I would love to do as a volunteer, is to get those to the courts and work with the courts, because I was the head of the Van Nuys Community Court for many years. We could do that. But John Henry, that is probably one of the best ideas you've ever come up with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Always thinking.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah, you want to do that, John?
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Can we agendize that? Put that as an agendized item? So
Sure.
it can be discussed openly and fully?
I'll second that.
Sure.
Okay.
You still have to move it.
And the tailor and the dry cleaner and the
All right.
barber, all those things could be sampled.
So I move that we add discussion of
Miriam's here.
creating a local restaurant guide for distributing to patrons of the courts
Okay.
and the civic center.
I second that.
All right,
All right, so we're gonna put that on the agenda. That's gonna be,
all in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Done.
Excellent.
4-0.
Okay.
We deputize Mr. Tamara as our
Honorary treasurer.
honorary treasurer, yes.
Just say to listen, you turn the
Okay, sorry, I'm making notes. This one, all right. Okay, I don't know if this qualifies as old business. This is about the election? Or is that new
Are we
business?
still in public comment or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Some public comment?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it, Mr. Hopkins.
Hi, I'm Richard Hopp. I sent a Public Records Act request to Dunn, Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, regarding how to increase the credit card limit from 500 to 2,500. I received a response back that they need more time. I expect their response to be is, we have no records. This is just going to be another trashy thing that Dunn does, and they don't have any repercussions on it. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to make repercussions for it, because there must be a policy to do with that. I suspect they're going to say, well, you have to talk to the bank. The bank is not their client. Dunn is. And if they want to supply me something on the bank policy, I'd like to see that. But I guarantee you, Dunn's going to play the not my job game. That's it.
Very good.
So I just want to let everyone know, I have been working with the controller's office to try and see if we can get this issue addressed. They were very shocked to hear that out of 97 neighborhood councils, we're the only one that is restricted to 500 a day. So we're going to try and dig in from that channel as well. I'm also working with CD6 to figure out how to get those offices in the Browdy Center open to business. I think part of the issue is they're charging like market rates for the west side, not like market rates for Van Nuys.
It has nothing to do with the finances, sir.
Nothing to do with the finances?
It's doing on how it's run and conditions. That's the problem.
Okay.
So what I understand from when Domino's was there in Quizno is it's the conditions that the city puts on you.
Okay, well,
Ask them to see a copy of the lease. It's public record.
all right, yeah. Not bad idea.
Okay.
I thought that was the executive board, see, yeah.
This is.
Okay, what's your name? Tell her to sit up here.
He's just over there with the rest of the peanut
We
gallery.
gotta see for you right over
Yeah, I was
here.
gonna say in
Sorry
that,
about that.
No, it's okay,
here
right
we
here,
go.
right here.
Here, you can
in
sit
that
over
same
here if you
vein, I think Howard said he was gonna ask Camby about
Yeah.
trying to get us an office.
I've heard about it.
All right, because I'm now taking possession of a lot of the VNNC equipment. Don't even ask me what I all have, but we've got all kinds of office equipment that we bought. So it'd be nice if we had an office to put it in. Yeah, Mr. Perez.
You gotta recommend.
Oh, I'm sorry, I recognize Mr. Perez.
Mr. President, Mr. Rick Stanhope owns the property, the country general store, and basically most of the buildings right there. Why don't would you be willing to meet with him and ask him, because if you recall the office that he let you, Cindy Montanez is available, it's the right size,
Yeah.
and it would be ideal as an office centrally located for the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. It's a beautiful building, it's a beautiful location, and the public can actually come and meet board members, and board members could actually meet with people there. It's a beautiful office, so if you'd like, we can.
All right.
Question.
I'll meet with him. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we wanted to use that before, and I think Richard, if I'm not mistaken, our office somewhere, but it didn't meet the ADA.
ADA.
Oh, yeah, really? Okay,
Because of the
Rich.
stairs, unless there's another
Right,
way,
no,
because
no,
what
no.
about Ms. Hunt?
Right. And,
Like, we now have a board member
And
that
this-
cannot
and
be
this-
able to go up the
And what do
stairs.
you call them?
So does he have one
yeah.
first floor?
Yeah, stakeholders are this table. Stakeholders are this table.
Remember, she did not bring preaching this time.
Yeah, I know that.
This is
Board had to be in a 7 days before.
This is the executive
I know
board
that.
table.
There's no bid on it.
I won't.
That's fine, yeah.
Want to comment on the office? Why we never really had one?
Yeah, go ahead. Huh? You want to talk about the office?
Mr. Henry has been around long enough. When an office has been secured, certain board members in the past don't know how to act properly and also transact certain type of business that is not a business of the VNNC. and that's why it's been generally stayed away from. So you gotta look at more, if you so choose, and who has access,
Yeah,
is,
well-
that's a key thing, but you gotta look at more of a liability issue than anything else.
No, that's true. All right, well, I'm just saying we should look into having some kind of an office somewhere that's close by, because we have office equipment, we have a need for an office. Other neighborhood councils have offices, so I think we should explore any and all opportunities along those lines,
Question.
whatever they are.
Who answers the phone?
Nobody, I mean, we won't have a phone, because there won't
No,
be
who's
anybody.
answering the phone now?
No one.
No one. So, there's no phones.
Okay, have some more, please.
Follow-up comments, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Perez.
In regards to that office, you may be right, Mr. Hopper probably figured it out. It may not be in compliance, and we'll have to find that out. But if you recall the office, it has a storage area. I don't know if it's big enough, but if we could combine our storage area at the storage place with that office, I don't know what we pay a month on that storage facility, but I think the rent for that office was like about $500.
The one right here?
Yeah, the one down the street.
Yes.
You know how much it was?
I don't know how much it is, but we only have an hour on the camera, and we do have a lot
Yeah.
of stuff to get through.
All right,
So let's,
We got
Okay.
43
So we
minutes.
all
Yeah,
agree,
43 minutes
we
to
all
get
agree that
through
we
a bunch
need
of
to
stuff.
look into an office, and we're going to agendize that. Agendize discussion of office space. All right, so, the election part of this is would that be old business or new business? We done with the public comments, by the way? It's old business, all right. So under what we previously discussed, any and all applications, we have 2 empty nonprofit seats. Any applications, we're supposed to be in 7 calendar days before the general meeting. We have 1, that's from Ms. Marcela Rodriguez behind me.
Yay.
So that's all in order with, you wanna see that? Mr. Huff, while I'm at it?
What do you want me to do?
I don't want you to do anything, I'm just giving you a look-see.
Okay.
Anyway, all looks good to me. I move that we agendize an election to fill that 1 seat with the 1 qualified candidate who submitted an application so far.
a second.
Okay, so that is on the agenda for the general meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Okay. that's
Still getting the
unanimous.
hang of this here, guys. Okay. Next new business is Carino's A to D. Do I need to read each one of those?
Yeah.
Lucky me. Okay, so these are things that came before the Plum, or coming before, or came or before the Plum Committee?
Came from the Plum Committee,
All right.
and we're bringing it to the general board to get the full board to vote to
Yeah.
support.
Right. All right, so I'll just go through them. A is 6719-6705 North Sepulveda Boulevard on menu incentive for affordable housing, demolition of an existing motel, less than 50 units, consisting of 2 one-story buildings and 1 two-story building, in order to construct a new 3-story, 44-unit residential apartment building over on-grade parking. Arming Garai of GA Engineering, Inc. So I move that that be put on the agenda.
Okay. Quick question. Did these items get unanimous consent out of the committee?
Yes.
So they can go on the consent calendar, and if we approve the consent calendar, we'll never have to discuss these.
I mean, it's an item that has to be voted on, right?
I know, but if we put it on the consent calendar, we take 1 vote for everything on the consent calendar, and it's poof, approved or,
But they still have to present.
do they? They don't have to present unless it's bold.
Well, I mean, I
Do
think
you want them to present?
they need to present a little bit because I mean, the majority of the board doesn't even know what it looks like.
Can I interject? Don't we have to approve this consent calendar? Is that our procedure first?
That's true, we get.
All right, so let's do it this way. We'll approve the consent calendar and then.
How long do you anticipate this presentation will take, Mr.
10, 15.
Each
It shouldn't.
one?
It shouldn't.
Or
It
just
shouldn't
all
take.
of them?
They just have to do a dog and pony show,
1,
and then
2, 3, you got 4 of them.
yeah,
So they're all gonna take 10 minutes?
hopefully,
Well, if they all take 10 minutes, that's 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes, a long time.
yeah.
That's a really long time.
But
So, why don't
I mean,
why, okay, but here's my question. If they came out of the committee unanimous, and you explain it to us, and you tell us why it's okay, why do I need people to talk more than that?
well, some board
Unless I
member.
have questions or
I mean, doesn't some of the board member know what's being proposed and what's being developed
Well,
without any knowledge of it or any reports?
well, we can have the speakers on hand If we put this on a consent calendar, there's always the option to pull it off the consent calendar for discussion.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well,
we don't have a consent calendar.
Well, we don't have a consent calendar yet, but once we do have a consent calendar, we can put it on that.
I think
It does fit the
I think the process is that we vet all the questions that are been
Yeah.
done at the Plum, and then when it goes to the general board, then it doesn't have to go through all these questions because it's already been asked previously.
Are there notes on what questions have been asked and what the answers were?
Well, the problem is that I've been trying to do the minutes and everything from February and
And he's
everything.
very busy, because I sent him a lot of photos.
I totally understand that Mr. Villacrest is extremely busy, but I also understand he has a very large committee, and we could probably delegate that task to somebody else and give it, do a handout about each project to pass out to the board at the meeting to save us the 10, 15 minutes each of presenting on these items, because that's 40 minutes right there. And that's a lot of time. I'm trying to get us out of here by 9,
Oh,
All right, well, that ain't happening. All right, so anyway, as things stand, we have to do this one at a time, and these people have to be there. I would just ask that they keep the presentation.
Yeah, just keep a presentation, short.
All right, so let's move it along here. So the first one is that item that I just read, so I move that we put that on the calendar. Do I have a second?
Second?
Vote.
Jeremy seconds. Aye.
Aye. All right, great. All right, B is 6533 Columbus Avenue, proposed for 5 single-family homes on an R11 RIO zone property, asking for a letter of support, no case available.
It hasn't been submitted in planning yet, so if they submitted an application, they would get like a case number.
Okay. All right, I propose that that be added to the calendar. Do I have a second?
Second.
And do we have a vote? Yes. Yes. Okay, passes unanimously. C from the Plum Committee is 14557 Haines Street. Develop 64-unit apartments with retail store. Zone change from, I love this, cute, P1 1BL CDO to RA S4 to develop a 64 or 68-unit apartment building with retail store on the ground floor with a retail of 7,400 square feet. Where is that? Haines and what?
It's by the post office, the street Haynes,
Yeah,
and if you go west, and the next street is Vesper.
yeah.
That's in the
Is
northeast
that
corner.
Is that the parking lot next to the
The
bank?
parking lot,
And
yeah,
the secondary parking lot.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Overflow parking lot.
Great, now there's no place to park at the bank. Well, anyway. Okay, and let me guess, one committee unanimously.
Well, the
approved that?
problem is that they've been waiting for 2 years
Yeah,
to get planning to tell them what to do. Then all of a sudden, like, they tell them to come to the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council,
Oh, really?
which they showed up.
yeah.
But the problem is that the work they've done is incomplete. And I said, we can't vote on it, but they want to put it on the general meeting. And I said, well, you got to do a lot of work on it.
All right,
You got to
so
be,
when it comes to the meeting next week, you're gonna say what?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that they're gonna have to present it.
It's not ready to go as is that right?
Well, if they got their ducks squared
Yeah.
and they present it, they have more information on their project, then we could vote
How I
on
would do it is you admonish them about the problems, and if they still
Yeah.
want to go forward, let the vote then stand.
Yeah, right, okay, Mr. Morris.
Yes, sir. Carino, I trust you as a chairman. If you feel it's a good project, you could say that, or even though they're having problems, that you feel that it's something that the community would benefit from. We'd like to hear your opinion on it. And we're hearing that there's a problem with it, but if you come in and say, look, this is something that I think that in the long run is going to be good for Van Nuys, I think.
Yeah, and I've been in communication with them as far as, you should have this for the general meeting, because at this point, the Plum couldn't really vote on something that seems incomplete and not enough information.
Okay, so
So,
You
you
admonish?
want it on the calendar?
Yeah,
All right, fine, I move that.
and if they don't have it, then they can't.
No,
Yeah.
right, I mean, that's it, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I move that item C be put on the calendar. Do I have a second?
second.
Vote. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's on the calendar. Finally, D, 14626 Raymer Street. Renewal of conditional use permit for adult cabaret entertainment with alcoholic beverages, asking for a letter of support. There's a case, do I need to read the case number? Okay.
Don't have to.
No case, ZA, no, again, no case. ZA 2013-0819, CUB, PA1.
Have you been there?
What is this place?
It's a topless bar.
No, I know that. What's the name of it?
Dames and Games.
I
Oh,
think we need it.
okay.
Need to do some research?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suggest get a fact-finding trip, but
Well, it's,
I can tell you that,
We go on assignment?
isn't that owned by the same people that own?
Spearmint.
Yes,
Yep.
that I did know about,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know.
They're the same group, but the thing is that they serve alcohol.
So therefore, what?
It's not totally.
It's topless, because it's for
yeah.
alcohol, all right, so what, they want a letter of support for what, alcohol toplessness?
For the CUB.
establishing, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
The
Rich.
address, if I may, Mr. Chairman, it's roughly by Hazeltine, if I'm correct, and Raymer is almost by the tracks.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's probably Custer mostly.
Kester and Raymer is almost near the
Way
tracks.
to-
Yeah, it's
So
along.
it's in an industrial area, there's no homes
Where all
around it.
electronics is.
Yeah.
Where all electronics
It's
is.
barely in our,
okay.
it's barely still in our area, right?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, it's across the street.
Right on the borderline.
Okay, I move that item D be put on the calendar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote. Aye. On the calendar it is. All right, so we made it out of the Plum Committee.
Point of information.
Yes,
When we say putting on the calendar, we put the consent calendar or the agenda?
we don't have a consent calendar because we
Yeah.
haven't gotten to a consent calendar yet. So on the agenda, yes, that's what I mean. Okay, all right, so these next, let me see, 3 items, or at least 2 of them, are people that contacted info at VNNC and asked to speak about something or other. So Anna Weezer of the City of LA Office of Community Beautification would like to speak about community cleanup tools, graffiti abatement, bulky item pickup, and similar services offered by the city. I told her to come on down and talk. So anybody have any comment on that?
How much time are we giving her?
Not much, you know. How much time can we give anybody? 10 minutes?
10, 15.
That's it. Huh? No. Anyway, I move that be put on the general meeting agenda for next week. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, vote. Aye. Okay. All right. This one was also, I thought, unless Mr. Hopp wants to change his mind, I don't know. It's stakeholder and lit committee chairman Richard Hopp would like to speak about proper notification cancellation of meetings under the Brown Act.
I'd like that to be referred to a lit committee because
Okay.
because a lot of times you get into code sections, some
All
people won't understand.
All
So if
right.
it's just referred, that's fine.
All right, then I move that matter be taken off of the agenda for the next general meeting and instead be referred to the lit committee for further action. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
July 16th is the next lit committee.
Okay, July 16th. It's all yours, take it away.
Is that a Friday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Sorry.
I don't know where this one came from. VNNC discussed doing community cleanups in the Van Nuys district area, working with Public Works and City Council. Where'd that item come from?
That sounds like.
Oh, I put it in there.
Oh, you put it in there.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I just put it
Just
when you
inside
asked.
your head and
Yeah, well, I mean, because I've been designated as the Public Works liaison.
Oh, all right. So do you
So-
want to talk or?
Well, I mean, just sort of generate ideas where we could do a next community cleanup.
Okay.
This sounds like it's very germane to the other speaker we have who's coming from the city to tell us about the resources.
Yeah, that's true.
So why don't we just give you 5 minutes at the end of that? Probably towards the end of that.
All right. Okay. Well,
Is that enough time too? I mean,
No, that's fine. I mean, they could be part of the discussion as far
Okay.
as what they could provide and what they could do.
yeah.
okay.
All right, cool. All right, so I move that be put on the next agenda for the next meeting.
So moved. Second, whatever.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay, it's on there.
You two can also second things, you know.
Yes.
All right, H is a little, you want to take this away?
Yeah, sure.
VNNC 2, I'm not even sure what that says.
Okay. Okay, this got formatted a little weird. So this is a motion to implement a consent calendar comprised of items that pass unanimously in committees. Items pulled from the consent calendar go to the end of business. So that was a motion that came out of our bylaws committee. And this would be an amendment to the standing rules, which means it just needs it needs a majority, but it doesn't need the 60-day review period that a normal bylaws change does. And what this lets us do is take anything that gets unanimous support out of a committee and it becomes a consent item as long as it's not a funding item.
Yeah, they do that downtown. I've seen them
They
do
do that
it.
in the legislature, they do that in the Encino Neighborhood Council, they do this downtown. And if you have issue with an item on the consent calendar, you can pull it, and that gets discussed later, and the rest of the stuff that nobody objects to gets approved
Wait a minute, it doesn't get, it gets discussed later?
in the meeting.
You can't vote on it if it's been pulled.
No, pulled means you get to
so-
discuss it.
If someone submits and I understand, I think there needs to be better wording, but I understand what you're on the intent. Basically, if someone submits a speaker card or someone wants to speak on it, then it can't be on, consent calendar.
Right.
Yes.
Just, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, I know your intention.
Yeah, so just the language should be, Vienna's Neighborhood Council to implement a consent calendar comprised of items that pass unanimously in committees.
You're reading it.
I am.
Okay, thank you.
Is it the description of the committees?
We didn't get there
Which
yet.
will be called consent items. Items may be pulled from the consent calendar by public comment. Those items go to the end of business. The remaining items are voted on in one motion. One vote.
Yeah, Mr. President.
I have somewhat of an issue. I'm not looking at this present council, but future council, and how that can be taken advantage of and say, well, we could pull this out of committee, a consent thing, and then kind of force it on the public depending on what it is. And then how far does it go out as far as saying, well, then can we limit this, can we limit that? And that's my only concern with that, is it going to limit things?
So may I try and address your concern,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moritz? Okay. So first off, the consent items have to go through committees first.
Okay.
So there's going to be one public hearing on them by the VNNC Neighborhood Council already. If anybody on the committee objects to the item, it does not qualify as a consent item.
If one person in that committee objects to it, it does not
It
pass.
does not pass as a consent item. It becomes a regular item under regular business.
Okay, and my only issue with that is because I just went through the process in regards to committees downtown. As you said, this is what they do down there.
Yeah.
We saw Public Works do it, bang, bang, bang. The one person just opened his mouth and said, "They're all agreed." Somebody might have disagreed, but because nobody wanted to argue with that chairperson, it all passed. And what happened is, it just flowed on to the next committee. That is my only concern is, and that's what I hear here.
And also, what is built into this mechanism is that if anybody puts a comment card on any of these items, that then gets pulled from the consent calendar. But I would request that, you have to keep in mind you have a 10-minute cumulative time limit in the general board meeting, so you gotta be a little judicious as to what gets pulled by who. But
Again, I just saw something downtown last week in regards to, which was so similar to this, that it was, things were pushed through, and I've seen them pushed through, based because, the committee agreed
yeah,
as a
no,
whole.
I understand the concern, Mr. Ensper. These are supposed to be like, these are like letters of approval. I mean, yes, I understand there's a potential for abuse, but that's why there's also the committee process that, someone can vote no, and if anybody votes no, it's not a consent item. And you also have the liberty to pull it for discussion if you really feel strongly that it needs to be pulled.
And again, as I would say, repeat, is last week I saw discussion, I saw opposition, and yet it flowed right through because of this. So basically what we're trying to serve here is, once it goes through a committee and the committee approves it, boom, it's a done deal. So I just ask to be cautious with this and,
Okay.
and not allowed to be overpowered.
We got 19 minutes.
Okay, so do I move that we at least put that on the
Yeah.
agenda for the next general, I'm sorry, John.
I just also have a problem with consent calendars on the Plum Committee because we don't get very many people from the public. no matter what you say about that they should come, if they don't come to the committee hearing, then it ought to be reasonably discussed in the public hearing. They don't know whether they want to pull the item. I'm sorry that they don't come to the plum committee, but they deserve their chance.
Well, I would ask then that,
They do.
that as a member of the plum committee, you, Mr. Hendry, take notes and write up some literature, you know, with Q about these projects that you know, to give to the board.
The kind of information I'm being given that would not fit in a nutshell for writing that. And as I say, I feel a little maybe that I should then object to all the items. I don't know, I just,
Well, you can do that too.
You could do
you
that
need
too.
to have the public. And if the public misses
But a
show
lot of the
one,
stuff
they
is
deserve to come to show
a
two.
lot of the stuff is like housekeeping stuff, simple fixes and stuff. Like a bunch of the items we gotta get to right now. So like items A through F on number 7, I. These are these are the proposed redefinitions of the committees that came out of the out of the bylaws committee last month. So we'll start with the top.
What happened to that? Is this all one item or what?
This is
What
all-
happened with the consent thing?
This is one item, so if we approve the consent calendar, this then becomes one item, basically everything else on the agenda becomes one or two items with several subsections under the consent calendar. We can approve it, we can pull certain sections or not, but the idea is we get most of the stuff through without a fight, and because every vote takes 2 minutes. So if you vote on every item on the agenda without putting on a consent calendar, you're eating into public comment time. Because we all want to get out of there as early, you know, my goal is to get us out of there by 9. So this is a tool for getting us out of there by 9.
You got a comment?
No, I said hello.
Hello.
9 o'clock is better than.
Anybody else?
I would just say zoning are the tough decisions, and to tell everybody to get out by 9 and not pay attention to discussion
Yeah.
isn't very helpful.
Okay,
Well-
well, this is, okay, so let me read you what we have so far. So these are the committee descriptions. We took a couple of committees, we spliced them together because they weren't meeting, and they seem to have some overlapping interests. So we kept PLU committee intact. Reviews and makes recommendations regarding all planning land use issues within the boundaries of VNNC. All members of the Plum Committee must complete ethics trainings.
We got 15
So,
minutes.
Budget and Finance, so going on to B, Budget and Finance Committee, the Bylaws Committee meeting, motion to approve description, this is all weirdly formatted, sorry. Reviews and makes recommendations regarding all fiscal issues before the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. All members of the Budget and Finance Committee are required to complete the treasurer training. That's common sense, right? Public health and safety. This is one of my concoctions. Reviews and makes recommendations regarding all public health and safety issues before the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. Such issues include crime, homelessness, and sanitation.
Now, Hop is Jeanette or Richard?
Huh?
It says Hop. Is that Jeanette or Richard?
That's you. You were there.
Okay.
Jeanette wasn't there.
Mr. Vice President?
Yes.
May I suggest, because you believe in this so much and I want to hear more from you and that you're making sense, but I also want to protect the public, would you be willing to set this back for 1 month and maybe have a hearing, another hearing, and we can hear this so we can discuss this fully? Because what you're asking for is for a vote on this next Wednesday, correct?
Yes. So we can have the committee start meeting.
I understand that, but if we were to hold it off for 1 week and we were to perfect it and get all the kinks out of it, wouldn't it be worth it to hold it back for 1 week? There's no rush on it, and to perfect it and to make sure the rights of the public are protected on this, I think is so important. As Mr. John Henry said, we want to make sure that we don't step on the rights of the public and that we don't oversee something that because we're looking a little too far ahead that we're not catching everything. So would you be willing just for 1 month?
Well, we could make amendments to these if you feel the language is problematic.
I understand that, but you know, again, once the cow's out of the
Well,
barn,
all right.
it's kind of hard to wrestle
We
them back.
can readjust the charter of a committee on the fly.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes, Mr. Lane.
Should we kick this back to the Legislative Bylaw Committee and have a meeting of that committee, and if people go to that committee and change whatever language they want to change,
But we already had that committee.
well, we can have it again, because other's we're either
We've got other,
doing it
we have other
here,
stuff we really need to
or it's-
review in the legislative, in the bylaws committee that we didn't get to last time. We can't be rehashing everything.
we're not rehashing everything. Obviously, people have concerns, and they should be allowed to address their concerns. So why don't we let them do it in the context of the bylaw committee, rather than the sizzler or the general meeting, which is gonna be a real pain. And not
Okay,
get,
well,
alright, so that makes
so,
more
so
sense
let
to
me,
me.
can I finish these descriptions then, since we only have,
We got 11 minutes.
okay, I'll try and get through these really quickly. Can you
Not
please
fast.
call public comment to the end so you can just get through these? All right, outreach and communications oversees outreach and marketing communications issues for the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. Such issues may include special events and website maintenance. E, government relations, rules and bylaws committee. Reviews and makes recommendations regarding all government relations, rules and bylaws issues before the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council. Such issues include revisions to the standing rules and bylaws and recommending community impact statements. F, and this is the big one. This is 3 committees that I spliced together. One from way back in the day of the VNNC. Sustainability, Transportation, and Public Spaces Committee reviews and makes recommendations regarding all sustainability, transportation, and public space issues before the Van Nuys Neighborhood Councils. Such issues may include parks, transit, mobility, sidewalks, and sustainability. That's it. We're taking it down to.
I would think
6
that would be
committees.
under planning
The
and land use.
other one is just a suggested rework of language because at the last meeting we've had these CISs before the board, and the suggestion was to combine them into.
You want a different topic now?
Yeah, sorry, I'm going on to 2. This is community impact statements. We had 2 council.
Alright, well, wait a minute, can we deal with,
Okay, committee
not-
We got
definitions?
10.
yeah, okay, wait a minute, let me stop you there. Can I have that back?
Yeah.
Alright. Before we get to the community impact statements. Alright, so all of that was about the consent calendar and the committees, and everybody got that? We're down with that.
You have a
All right.
question behind you, Ms. Hop. There's a hand up.
I have a question, yes, okay.
Okay. Yes, Superintendent Brink?
I just want to make a comment. Transportation, you guys know, is of paramount importance right now.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you saw the articles in the paper.
Yes.
On the November ballot, there's going to be a number of issues for tax increases in relation to that.
Oh, really?
So, yes, in relation to the rapid transit, the big rail project and a couple of other
Yes.
things. So you really want to be aware of that and upfront because it is going to affect our neighborhood like everybody else's. So you need to know about that.
Absolutely, and that's one of the
Thank
reasons
you,
why
Ms. Hop. That's a good point.
I really want to get these committees up and running so we can start having meetings.
Yeah, because
We're gonna
Yes,
bring back the
Sean.
discussion though on
What?
on the committees and the discussion.
All right.
Is there any discussion on the definitions of the committees? You have 10 minutes left.
Which committee,
Do you have issue with?
which committee here, which committee here, is this the bylaw committee that generated all of this?
Yeah.
Alright, then I am going to move, since on the one hand I like the idea, but on the other hand there's obviously serious concerns about it. So I'm gonna move that this be sent back to the bylaw committee, and I'm gonna move that everybody who has an issue about it show up at that meeting of that bylaw committee
Just be notified.
and hash this out, and we'll give notice, and then we'll get it back on the next regular meeting.
Do all the committee definitions have to get pulled? Can we let some
We have
through?
motions.
Yeah, I second.
What, to send
Send it back
No,
to
I mean, if we send this back to the committee and nobody has a problem with some of it, then nobody has a problem with some of it. But I think the people that do have,
Seconded.
it's been seconded, all right, then we need to vote.
Yeah, I second.
Okay, then, let's vote. Are we sending it back to the bylaw committee or not? I vote yes.
I vote no. I vote no.
I vote, yes.
Come on.
Where's that leave us?
That leaves us tied. That means that the motion's defeated and it goes through to the general meeting.
You don't have a fifth, there's supposed to be 5, you can't have a vote. The standing rule was that you always had to have 5 certified board members to do a rule that it could never go to a tie. If you look back at the bylaws, it made it
3 minutes.
We have a quorum of the executive committee.
which is only 4.
Which is only 4.
So you just need 3.
So how can you vote on something if you only have a quorum of
Yeah.
4, and it takes a majority to rule on the thing?
So there's no majority, so it's hung, so it doesn't get pulled. I mean that's how it usually works.
Again, this could go back to the city attorney, the city attorney.
Candido.
could argue.
Alright, wait a
I
minute,
mean,
wait a
I
minute.
mean, this is a public hearing, and I know you want this, and I support you. All I'm asking for is more public hearing on this. If you want to have a go, I'll go with you because I know you got a good heart. If you want to do it, I'll step aside because I don't want to step in, a new pathway. If you want to push through the
We got
discussion.
1 minute. We got 1 minute left.
I think this should be tabled.
Well, you're the president, you have the last word.
Okay, well,
then let's-
that's what I think, because I don't think we have a meeting of the minds here to jam this through.
Yeah.
I would suggest to brief on the consent calendar during the general meeting to let every board member
That
know.
would be a better idea. You
Yeah.
can explain it?
Yeah, I'll explain it.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
All right.
Jason,
I second that.
do a legislative memorandum. It'll make life a lot easier.
Okay.
Okay, we're,
I think you can sell us on it.
Do we need a cell phone?
yep, mine's dead.
No, mine's not. I just don't know.
All right, we're going into extra innings on Jeff's phone.
Jeff's phone.
You got a flip flop?
That-
You as well? You gonna use that? That's just pretty.